welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to a season of the challenge that smells like wild honeysuckle blossoms. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 25 Free Agents Episode 3. Now, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Frank beating Dustin, Jonna beating Emily Fitzpatrick in the Wrecking Wall elimination, and coming back to the challenge house just in time to catch Nany proposing to Cohutta. Now, you might be thinking it's a little too soon in their relationship, but Cohutta says yes, they make out. Nany even lets everybody in on it that she says Cohutta is the best kisser she's ever kissed, and the house decides to throw them a bachelorette and a bachelor party. Now, at the bachelor party, we have CT and Isaac putting everything together, handing out drinks, having the stripper, which is Jasmine, and everyone's having a great time. Now, on the bachelorette side, that's when things are getting a little naughty. Now, there are drinks on that side. There's also a stripper by the name of Johnny Riley, and Johnny is doing the best he can as a stripper on the last minute, and he's putting his junk in Nany's face. He's dancing for Nany, and then all of a sudden, they're making out at the bachelorette party. Now, I don't know, I haven't been to a lot of bachelor or bachelorette parties, but I don't think you're supposed to be making out with the stripper. Things could get pretty awkward in the house, but we have to put that all on hold as we make our way to the daily challenge for this episode. Now, before TJ can announce anything, he has to address Frank. Now, Frank has been feeling sick. At the last part of the episode 2, Frank talked about how he was feeling sick, and during this episode, he was on a call with his mom saying that he felt like something was happening with his lungs. Well, he got checked out by medics, and TJ announced that Frank has a viral infection and that he is contagious and he is no longer able to stay in the house. Frank has been medically DQ'd from this season in episode 3, and he is walking off into the sunset. But the show must go on. There still has to be an elimination at the end of this episode. So we are moving forward with today's daily challenge called Bar Crawl. Now, in this daily challenge, there are going to be people competing in teams of 4, and what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna be on one platform that's suspended 70 feet above water, and what you're gonna have to do is that 2 people is gonna be on one side of the wall, the other 2 people on your team is gonna be on the other side, and what you're gonna have to do is take these bars from the bottom of this wall, take them out of the holes and put them in different holes, and you're gonna have to use them to make your way across the wall and get to the other platform. Now, the team that can get the most people in the quickest amount of time from one platform to the other wins this daily challenge and gets to send 1 man and 1 woman into the elimination to face whoever's going to be in the bottom 2 teams, and those 2 teams are going to be flipping kill cards to see who's going to be going into face off against the winner's pick. So now we have the teams picked, but there's 1 team of 3 while the rest are teams of 4. Now, with Frank leaving, it leaves 1 team as a team of 3, and that is Jasmine's team of Jasmine, Jonna, and Jordan, and TJ gives them a choice. They could either play in this daily challenge and try to go for the win and possibly lose to be sent into the draw, or they can sit out of this daily challenge. They won't be thrown into the draw, they won't be able to win, but they are still eligible to be voted to go into the elimination by the winning team. Now, Jordan is sitting there really egging on his team, saying that he really wants to play and thinks that they can win. So Jasmine and Jonna say, yeah, we're gonna play. In my opinion, I would have sat out. I think a lot of people on the challenge were like, guys should sit out. First of all, you're down a person, and second of all, like, just take your chances of not being voted in. I mean, why even risk it? I understand what Jordan is doing. He is very competitive, he's athletic, he wants to try everything, and he thinks he can win everything, but sometimes you just can't win all of it, and you gotta make the safer choice, and the safer choice was to be sit out, but he wants to go in, so we're gonna have 6 rounds going on. So the first round is gonna be Cara's team, and that is Cara, CT, Anissa, and Swift, and they are moving slowly. They are the first team, they are the test team, and they are taking their time. Come to find out, they have a time limit that you have to try to finish this in. This isn't an all-day affair, so they get to the halfway point when they time out. So now all the other teams got to see what they were doing, and they got to see what they were doing right and what they were doing wrong. So Team 2, which is Brandon's team, which was Brandon, Camilla, Bananas, and Jessica, took off like a race car. They were going efficiently, they were moving efficiently, they were working well as a team, and they got through this thing quickly, like really quickly, which puts the pressure now on Team Cara, because now everybody sees that it can be done, really quickly, and now they're worried that, oh my gosh, we're gonna be the bottom 2 teams. Going on to round 3, we have Cohutta, Latoya, Nany, and Preston, and let me tell you right now, Cohutta and Nany have the chemistry, they have the communication, they took over for their team on this daily challenge and destroyed it. They did a fantastic job. We move on to round 4, which was Zach, Theresa, Devin, and Johnny Riley. Now, Zach is a very big guy. He has a very big wingspan, and it was his team, so he decided, hey, what if we just skip a peg? We saw all these people doing the same pegs. If we skip an extra peg, we can get across a little bit quicker. So they decided to do that. Instead of going like 2 pegs, they go 3 pegs. However, when they tried to reach back and try to get it, Johnny just could not reach it. Johnny doesn't have as big of a wingspan as Zach. He's not even that tall. Like, he was really reaching for it. They were wasting a ton of time. They could have pretty much dropped this beam if they weren't careful. Finally, they communicated after they got the beam, and they decided to do it the normal way like everyone else was doing. They made up some time and got across this pretty quickly. Then we move on to round 5, which is Jasmine, Jonna, and Jordan. And Jordan is by himself on his side of the wall. He is feeling good about himself. He is managing the best that he can. However, it got to a point and it just slipped out of his hand and they got DQ'd, meaning they were going to be one of the bottom 2 teams and they were all going to face the draw this episode. And then there was one more team left, and that was Team Leroy, which was Leroy, Naya, Isaac, and Laurel. This team had the length. This team had the spirit. I mean, look at it. Like, Leroy, Naya, and Laurel are like the tallest people in the whole house, respectively. So with that being the case, they were able to get through this pretty quickly, meaning that the bottom 2 teams were easily identifiable, which is Jasmine's team, which is Jordan, Jasmine, and Jonna, and Team Cara, which didn't even finish. They got halfway, and that was Cara, CT, Swift, and Anissa. They're all going to be taking part in the draw, and the winning teams were between 2. It was between Team Brandon and Team Leroy. 10 seconds separated these 2 teams, and the winning team was Team Brandon. So that means that Brandon, Bananas, Jessica, and Camilla will be talking with each other, deliberating on who they want to send in as the one guy and one girl into this elimination. We get straight into the deliberations. The guys are pretty easy. They're saying that they want Johnny Riley. Brandon and Bananas both say that, and the women are like, cool, we'll do that. But the women aren't solid yet on who they want to vote in. Camilla wants to make some deals. She wants to take this opportunity to start getting some allies on her side so as to where she won't be thrown into the next elimination. So she's talking to everybody. She's talking to Naya. She's talking to Latoya. And Latoya is giving her the biz. She is just throwing Naya underneath the bus saying, hey, look, Naya told me that she wasn't going to send me into the elimination in the episode 1, and she did. She said my name, she threw me right into the elimination, right into the lion's den. You can't trust a single word that comes out of her mouth, and Camilla is thinking, wow, that is very interesting news. Jessica is talking to a couple of people and wants to do what she wants to do, and she's going to do it by goodness. So then we get to the voting ceremony, and Johnny Riley is put up on there by a vote of 4-0. Then we move on to the women. Camilla is up first. She's still going back and forth on who she wants to put up, whether it's Latoya or Naya, and she decides to put in the rookie Naya into the elimination because, hey, Latoya was already in an elimination. She was put to the test and she made it through. Now it's Naya's turn, and pretty much everybody but Jessica votes Naya in. So by a vote of 3-1, Naya is going to be going into this week's elimination, and now we move on to the elimination to get to the draw. All right, so we have everyone lined up, and TJ makes yet another announcement. Because the 3-person team of Jordan, Jasmine, and Jonna lost and were in the draw, that meant that there was only 3 guys up and 4 cards to be flipped, meaning they have a 25% shot that all the guys will be safe this episode and we will not have a guys elimination, which Johnny Riley is thinking, cool, I'm down with that. So is Jordan, so is CT. So we move on to flipping these kill cards. We have Jasmine first, blank. CT, he flips it over, and that's a blank. Jonna, blank, Swift, blank. Now, this is it. There's only 2 cards left and 2 women. It's either Aneesa or Cara going into this week's elimination against Naya. Aneesa is up. She is ready to flip over a card. She flips it over and it is a blank, meaning Cara will be facing Naya in this week's elimination, and then Jordan is up. And it is a 50-50 shot if he's going to get a blank card or the kill card. He comes up to it and flips it over, and it is blank, meaning Johnny is safe, Jordan is safe, there is no guy's elimination, and Jordan is thanking his lucky stars because Johnny is a friend of his. They were on the Real World Portland together, and they don't want to go up against each other. They're friends. Naya versus Cara, legit, it's like Goliath versus David in tonight's elimination called Looper. Now, in Looper, what you're gonna have to do is that these 2 competitors will be having a rope attached to the back of their harnesses, and each person is going to have to run in between these poles and try to ring their bell. Now, the rope is going to tighten, and then that means it's going to be like a backwards tug of war where you're just going to have to dig deep into the dirt, reach for your bell, and really pull and outmuscle your opponent to your bell. When looking at this, Cara is at an extreme disadvantage in almost every sense of the word. I mean, she is way smaller. She has a way smaller wingspan, way smaller legs. Naya looks way more athletic than Cara at this point. And I think a lot of people were counting Cara out, especially Johnny Bananas, who was yelling throughout this whole competition, which took about 80 minutes in total. He was yelling and celebrating and rooting for Naya. Both women dug deep into the dirt, really held their grounds for as long as they could. They went up all the way to 75 minutes without moving, really trying to push each other. Naya was having a really tough time in this elimination. At one point, she was saying to the cameras that her whole right side of the body was like going numb. She couldn't breathe. And then at the 75-minute mark, I think Cara just heard so much from Johnny Bananas, like either saying that she's gassing out or that Naya isn't moving, Naya's gonna win this easily. And it finally just sank into her brain and her mind, and she used it as the fuel she needed at minute 75 to really dig in her heels, really start moving and start pulling Naya. Naya at one point just started like sitting up and tried to turn around and just pull the rope like it was tug of war, but it was not working as Cara was really pulling Naya, showing that she was never going to give up. She has the fight within her, and she does it at minute 80. She rings that bell, wins this elimination, sending Naya home and getting mad respect from everybody in the house. Like, everyone was a little taken aback to seeing Cara just take Naya to the cleaners in that last 5 minutes, because everyone was like, wow, Naya was a tough competitor, a tough beast of a person, and just an athletically gifted person. And Cara just showed that she is not going to back down, she is not going to give up, and she came to play. And she did. By goodness, that was a great elimination. I loved it. I thought it was a hard fought. I thought both women did the best they could. They dug in and they gave it their all. And they gave it to the best of their ability. But Cara just wanted a little bit more, and she had a little bit more gas in her tank towards the end. But that is it for this episode. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about the daily challenge bar crawl? What'd you think about Frank getting medically DQ'd from this challenge season? What'd you think about this elimination looper? And were you surprised that Cara Maria won? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.